You have CDs and such out on in the Welcome Center in the foyer for sale. So you too can take her home with you. So I've often heard John refer to the practitioners in this movement as the healing arm of this movement. And when he was president, he was a big advocate for the practitioners, and also as field leader, he's gone to bat for practitioners over and over and over again, often sharing with the ministers that the practitioners outnumber us like 10 to 1. Because the science of mind is a healing teaching. Healing, it's what we do. We don't have a lot of space for coming in here and holding on to our ideas of limitation, our experiences of lack, our diseases, our missteps, our self-flagellation. We don't have a lot of space in this teaching for that, and that upsets some people. That if you're going to come here, something's going to change and things are going to happen. And if you don't want that to happen, then don't come or don't stay. Because the science of mind opens up the doorway to each and every person that we can have the life of our dreams. And that doesn't mean that it's only a partial life. One of my favorite quotes is from the original 1926 textbook. It's lesson 2, the introduction, paragraph 1. And it starts off with, mental science, the science of mind and spirit. I don't know how we lost and spirit. I like it. The science of mind and spirit makes a tremendous claim when it states that it can free the individual from the bondage of illness, poverty, and unhappiness. It makes that claim without hesitation and without qualification. It does not back down from this, and it never will. That's this teaching. Healing is what we do. When we do it in spiritual mind treatment for each other, or when we come into this teaching and have things change. When this started way back 100 years ago, I think the first book of Ernest Holmes' Creative Mind was written in 1916, which, by the way, in only a 2-week window, is already translated and at the editor for final editing into Spanish to go up on our website as our first Spanish language presence to the world. So 1916, that's 102 years ago, when the first book was written. There were no antibiotics. There was not arthroscopic surgery. We didn't know a lot allopathically that we know now. There was a big tuberculosis outbreak in this country. For that matter, Ernest and Fenwick back in Venice, California, before they did anything with the science of mind, they opened up a sanatorium for people with tuberculosis to come and for them to use affirmative prayer, mental science on them to get better. This teaching has been based on healing from the start. I heard a story once that there was an old rancher in one of Ernest's classes, and he was raising cattle out in California, and someone asked him something about vet bills, and he said, "Vets? I don't pay vets. I go out and I speak the word over my herd." True story. So we come into this teaching and we heal. And some of us heal emotionally. Some of us heal ideas from the past, our story from the past, our childhood. Some of us heal mentally. Some of us heal physically. And I want to talk a little bit about the physical healings today because they are so dramatic and you can see them, you can point to them. When Jen Oman, where's Jen? When Jen Oman with her skiing poles first came into this center, she had just gotten out of a wheelchair and was on a pretty heavy-duty walker. I think it had brakes on it and turned into a seat so you could sit down at a moment's notice. There are people in the world who do not believe that she should be up and about. They would have her have gone over the years she's been here from a wheelchair to be bedbound. And instead, she came here and she healed. The woman teaches, is a coach at the Y. She's a coach in the gym at the Y. She just finished a series of fitness classes here. And she rides a bike. And she's made medical science that someone with her stage of MS is up, climbing stairs, walking around, working out, riding a bike, doing things. Because when you come into this teaching, you only have two choices. You're either going to get healed or you're going to get out. And those who stay, heal. It's what we do. We've had so many things happen lately in our center. We've had diagnoses get turned around. People who were very concerned that cancer had come back and go and get the biopsies, and they go, nope, nope, you're good. Everything's good. You're fine. Good to go. David Phillips, 3 weeks ago, almost to the day, had a heart attack. Except David says, well, it wasn't any big deal. He was here 3 weeks ago, had some practitioners treating for him because he just didn't feel right. And then he went to the hospital, and I think you had a heart attack in the hospital, right? Which, if you're going to have one, that's a really good place to have one. And they popped a stent in him and sent him home. And he said, I never felt like I was in danger of any kind during that whole process. Well, you had every practitioner in the center treating for you, to holding you in that grasp of love and of knowing truth. When you come into this teaching, if you stick around, if you've got the guts to stick around, things are going to heal. Your money's going to heal. Your relationships are going to heal. All of a sudden, people are talking to their mother that haven't talked to their mother for decades. All of a sudden, holidays are being spent together. That's real live healing. And we have so many other physical healings in this teaching and in this center. I know there was a woman here who had her thyroid removed. And when it got to the biopsy place, they wrote the doctor and said, why'd you take out this perfectly good thyroid? Because from the biopsy to the surgery, it had healed. My sister Margaret had a tumor in her uterus, and she was in Florida. She was going to a Science of Mind center, and her minister came to see her the night before the surgery. See, I can talk about her because she's not here today. The night before the surgery, and he said, you know, since they're going to cut it out, why don't you just put everything in your life that you don't want in the tumor and let them take it? That's a good idea. So from the night before to the next morning when they cut her open, there was no tumor. Real live stuff that changes just like that. And I've always been a huge advocate for physical healing because I believe that each and every one of us has the right and the ability to transform any sense of dis-ease or illness into absolute vibrant health. And Ernest says there's nothing to heal, only truth to be revealed. And the truth is that we are already healthy. That whatever the illusion of sickness is, it's just an illusion covering up the health that's already there. So taking the illusion off and revealing the health and wholeness that is there is not as difficult as doing it from scratch. You're not taking a sick organ and making it well. You're simply removing the idea that illness is there, that there's some kind of non-functionality there, and watch it pop back into the divine idea in the mind of God that it always has been. So I've always loved physical healings, and yet I never really had one. I remember when Willard Fuller would come and do the blessing of the teeth, and I would really want something to happen in my mouth. John got 3 fillings the first time he met the man. Fillings that a dentist never put in his mouth. They're still in there. And I've seen people's teeth move and face change and all this stuff, and I wanted that, and I wanted that, and I never got it. And it was about 2.5 years ago that I found my way into something that I had avoided for a long time, which is allopathic medicine. I found my way into a doctor's office to have a checkup because people say Every 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, Barbara, maybe you should just go let somebody look at you. And I had always said up until now, why should I ask someone if something's wrong to look at me for something wrong if I don't want to find something wrong? It didn't seem to sound very smart, but I said, okay, I'll go. And I went, and sure enough, as soon as the blood pressure cuff went on, people started screaming and yelling. And this wasn't that new to me because I knew that for about 20 years, anytime anybody took my blood pressure, then there would be screaming and yelling and, you know, a desire to dial 911 and that I'm going to kill somebody while I'm driving and I'm going to drop over dead any second of a stroke or a heart attack. And I would go, you know, I'm going to leave on my timeline. I'm not leaving on anybody else's timeline, and nothing will make me go, and nothing can make me stay if I'm ready to go. They didn't understand. But I went down that path and finally ended up on blood pressure medication because I was trying to be grown up, you know. By then I was almost 65, and I thought, well, maybe I should be grown up a little bit and go ahead and take some blood pressure medication. But, you know, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it felt. It took the spark off of me. Everything was hard. Everything was thick. I don't like hard and thick. I like easy and light. That's what I like. That's me. So I decided, well, I'm not going to stay on this stuff very long because I didn't like the way it felt, but I also wanted to allow my body to heal. If my body was showing signs of distress, then all I needed to do was allow it to heal and change my thought about it, and I could get off of all of that and have that change. During the time of the blood pressure stuff, what came up was a diagnosis of chronic kidney disease stage 3. And the doctor had the nerve to look at me and use the word dialysis. And I said, oh, no, no, no. You're not saying that word. This girl does not do dialysis. This girl is not going to do dialysis, never has, never will. And I said, well, if it gets to where I'm needing to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and leave. You know, I'm not going to live hooked up to a machine. I won't do that. I just will not do that. There was an unequivocal denial of that. And I don't care what your little signs say and your numbers say and all of that. Well, a year later, a different doctor looked at my numbers and freaked out and said, you must have a tumor in your kidneys. I said, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't have a tumor. I don't have a tumor. And so they sent me to the ultrasound place, and they're looking and looking. And I'm saying, hey, you know, how's it look? And it's like, we cannot talk to you. I know it's your body and you're paying for this, but I can only talk to your doctor. So fine. So it comes back, there is no tumor in my body. But I knew that bodies heal all the time, that if you've got a breath in you still, you can heal whatever it is. And so I decided that I would have my blood pressure come down, get off blood pressure medication, and reverse the kidney disease. And I want you to know, after that really clear decision, it took me 4 months. 4 months to be completely off blood pressure medication, to have normal blood pressure anytime someone throws a cuff on me, and to have just last week gotten back my most recent lab results that show perfectly normal kidney function. I happened to drop 20 pounds on the way and lower my LDL cholesterol 50 points, but that was all part of the package. It wasn't sit on the couch and hope that something happened. Treat and move your feet is how I was raised in Science of Mind. Treat and move your feet. So I knew, because I read a lot of Louise Hay, that kidneys have anger in them. That kidney problems are suppressed anger. So I started looking at some of the things that I might have been angry about over the last 10 years. some things that may have had a little resentment in them over the last 10 years. And maybe I hadn't been completely honest as I was, you know, you can feel two completely different feelings at the same time. It's called ambivalence. I can be, I love you so much. You are my great joy, and I am so proud of you for being president of Centers for Spiritual Living, for going to Ukraine and going to Mexico and going to a number of people's here licensing and panels and ordinations and all of those amazing things that you did for the world. And I believe that what you did has great meaning. I can believe that. And I can also be a little pissed off about it too. So I looked at that. And I took myself through some processes that say, really, it was a good thing to do. And I did thoroughly enjoy being queen. I loved that. So no need to hang on to any of that stuff or to any of the other people that may be involved in all of that drama. No need to hang on to that at all. I can let that go. And then I looked at what some behaviors I currently was doing that might impact how my body was working. Treat and move your feet. Listen to your body. Everybody's body is different. Everybody says different things come from your body to you, but you know what your body wants or needs. You know that. And so I looked at some of the things I was doing and some of the things I was putting in my mouth and some of the things I was not putting in my mouth and some of the... Can you believe I had a vitamin D deficiency? Because I go to the beach every 8 weeks, but when I'm not there, I don't go outside. So what's up with that? For someone who loves being outside so much, why am I not going outside? And what am I using as a game to make myself say, oh, I can't go for a walk because I'm just so important and I'm so busy and I'm so overworked? What a crock. What a crock. That stuff will... Be careful, Barbara. That stuff will make you sick. So John and I signed up for this program, and they shared with us a long list of foods never to put in our mouth, and it was mostly what we eat. All grains of any kind, all dairy, anything in a can, anything in a bottle. Well, that's where food comes from. We have a pantry. All pork products, all beef products, all of that. And what? Coffee, yes. We've all heard about the coffee. Yeah, no coffee. So we did that. I'm just kind of checking myself out and allowing my body to tell me whether my body liked this or not, because my head didn't like it, but I was really amazed that my body really liked it. My body was very grateful for all of these things. And in the process, I asked all of my practitioners to treat for me. And each and every practitioner in this center has been treating for me for probably 6 months for my kidneys. Because I believe that it's treat and move your feet. Not just move your feet and not just treat. We have to be willing to step into our own healing, and we have to be willing to let go of the us that we were that made ourselves sick. Because nobody made us sick but us. And we have to stop making ourselves sick if we want to get well. So what does that look like? Stop complaining, stop criticizing, stop being angry, stop being resentful, stop holding on to old stories that don't serve us. Move into that. I love what Charlie says. He says, you are God, now act like it. To start moving into that greater awareness of who we are and to let our bodies be their divine self. Lynn, you are one of the most inspiring people I have ever met. I saw you the day after they left you for dead. And look at you now. Baby, look at you now. Amazing what we can do. What we can do. And this teaching pushes us forward into prosperity, into health, into love, into joy, and into success. And it doesn't give us a whole lot of room to whine about our problems. It doesn't coddle us and say, well, maybe God is manifest as everybody but you. No. If anyone has healed, we can heal. If anyone has demonstrated something, we can demonstrate it. If anyone has something, we can have it. And if anyone has ever let go of anything, we can let go. And more than that, if no one has done these things yet, we will be the first, because we are the way showers and the light bearers for the rest of humanity come to planet Earth. It is our job to do the impossible and to do it every day. I just wanted to let you know that Barbara Waterhouse is healthy, whole, and complete, fine, and doing well. Loving my life, gonna stick around for a long, long time. And so it is.
Brilliant. I was reminded when you made the Queen comment that in 2013 in Vancouver, we stayed in the suite where Queen Elizabeth stays when she goes to Vancouver. That's right. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So we said hi to all of our visiting practitioners earlier. I'd like to find out if there's anyone else in the room who is here for the first time. Anyone here for the first time? There's someone. Welcome, welcome. We're delighted that you're with us today. Thank you so much. Who else? I suppose some folks over here are here for the first time. Thank you, and thank you for being with us. That's just fantastic. Thank you. So what's happening here is that you're going to get a little card and a piece of paper. Someone's going to come down the middle aisle. No, there we go. And you have someone behind you too. There you go, right over here. You got them? Fantastic. We got them. So you got your card. Put that in the either in the basket or hand it to us when you come out. We have a gift for you at our Welcome Center, and we're delighted that all of you have found your way here, and we'd love to meet you. So we look forward to that. We've having a fantastic experience today, and I'm really delighted with all of you for being here. So let's have our prosperity acceptors come forward, and I'll come get all these checks that have come in the mail, and Barbara's and mine. And if you would, take out what you're going to give. And hold it in your hand. I like to put mine close to my heart. And know the truth. And the truth is the presence and the power of the one is right here, right now. It's always here. In this moment. Always here. It includes our money. That money that we receive, that money that we share with others. It's all God. It's God in action, moving through our lives. And I'm grateful in this moment for whatever each one here is choosing to give as a gift to this center. I'm grateful for that dedicated support of this center, for our work around the world. I'm grateful for who we are as a community, how bold and clear and healthy we are, how we know how to heal. And for all of this that we do, we are grateful. And in our gratitude, we're going to say these words together aloud. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.